Welcome to More Than Conquerors. We're excited today. We're in we're in Worcester Common, and we're going to be walking around asking and speaking to people in regards to a few things: their faith, how do they get their faith, what do they believe in. We're just going to have a good, open conversation, and I'm looking forward to it. All right, everybody. I'm here with Jesse and Amber. They are more than happy to talk with me a little bit and talk about the main things that we're trying to get out. Where people stand in their beliefs and understanding kind of how they came about that. So first, I guess I'll start with Amber. Ladies first. So Amber, as we were talking off camera, you started talking about the different environment right now with all people's beliefs, and it seems like everybody's clashing no matter what side they're on. So tell me a little bit about your beliefs and tell me a little bit of what you're seeing right now in society.
So I pretty much believe that it costs nothing to be a good person. It costs nothing to say, hey, how are you? Hey, I care about you. Hey, are you having a good day? It costs nothing. And so when I see how much either homophobia or transphobia, racism, it's truly disgusting, and it actually makes me angry. It's actually a topic that I'm really passionate about, because when you look at me, most people either see, oh, you're Mexican, oh, you're white, oh, you're mixed, or this, and that, when really I'm actually not only biracial, I have 3 different races in me, and my mom is fully white, and my dad's fully Hispanic and Native American. And so when I see all this different injustice going around, I'm like, wow, that really resonates, and that really hits with me, because I'm born and raised Southside Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona. And so when people look at my style and they look at me and they judge me and they're like, you don't know nothing about that. You don't know what you're talking about, and regardless. And it's like, no, just listen. All you have to do is listen, like the way I listen to you. One of my favorite rappers right now, Logic, he literally speaks nothing but the truth when it comes down to it. And it's literally all about judging. Like, just look at everything objectively as you can. Look at everything without judgment. It costs nothing to be nice. It costs nothing to be a good person.
Okay, so I do see that you're passionate about that, and that's great. That's great. And with you, do you feel the same way? Do you, like, what are some of the things that you believe? And first off, how do you guys know each other? You guys friends? You guys hang out?
We're friends. We actually met at a concert not that long ago, and we're actually going to the show tonight down at the Palladium.
Okay. And so tell me a little bit about your perspective and what you see in today's society. And are you guys? It seems like most people, when you hang out with your friends, you guys have similar beliefs. But I just want to know what how you feel and what your belief is.
World domination.
No, it's a tough world. I mean, there's a lot of animosity amongst different people, and I personally understand. I live in the backwoods in New Hampshire. I live on a dead-end dirt road. I can't see my neighbors, so what I'm used to when I come to the city is so different, and it's unfortunate. I don't understand the logic of people's minds, how they could hate each other, or just have all this animosity for each other. It blows my mind, but it's unfortunate.
Absolutely, I agree with you 100%. So there's so many different things. I want to know. So out of that, it seems like you may have a belief system based out of what you're experiencing, or do you have a belief system based when you were younger, like with your parents? Like where does some of your beliefs come from?
Oh my gosh. Being 100% honest, I grew up in a very, very, very poor and gang-affiliated neighborhood. I mean, there's literally bullet holes in the house I grew up in, like on the outside. My parents, they separated when I was 8. I grew up in a very traumatizing environment. And so as I got older, I was just like, fuck that. Like, I'm not going to pass that shit on to my kids. I refuse. I refuse to allow my children, the ones that I'm giving birth to, the ones that I love and I want to grow and cherish, and they will never grow in the environment. They will never experience the environment. They'll know about it. They'll view it objectively, but to put them through that, I refuse. And so I guess where I'm at right now, I mean, I'm only 24 years old, so I still have a lot of learning and healing and growing to do. But right now, like, my main goal is just be a good person, be nice to everyone.
Okay, awesome. I guess along the same lines, right? So you're saying you grew up in New Hampshire. Is it northern New Hampshire? Okay, so I'm familiar with New Hampshire. I actually went to school up there for 3 years up on Lake Winnipesaukee during high school years ago. So I'm familiar with New Hampshire. But in regards to your belief system, is it something that started when you were younger? Because we all formulate beliefs, and it could be environmental, right? A lot of times we're products of our environments. So what about you? How have you formulated your beliefs?
Mine's from my parents. I grew up in a very, very good home, and Christian based. I still hold those beliefs. Um, so my parents grew up very rough, and they had very hard childhood. They're both older, and my dad's or my grandfather, he was a World War II veteran that was an alcoholic. He had a very rough childhood. My mom, same thing. They both swore to each other when they met that they would never have the same upbringing, and I've been very blessed and fortunate with that upbringing. So I get all my beliefs from my parents and how they live. So
Okay, all right. This is awesome. This is awesome. So I'm going to ask you one more question. Okay, I'm going to ask you a question. This is the big one. This is the big question. Do you? I think you said that you're Christian, right? But do you believe in the Christianity, or do you have other? Is there any type of religion that you might believe in?
I used to follow organized religion. I grew up in a very strict Catholic household. My mom, she's a Christian. I felt regardless if I followed that or not, I was still a good person regardless. I believe more in energy. I'm more of a spiritual person. Um, I believe in science. I believe in the stars. I believe in the universe, what we have around us. That we're literally millions and gajillions of tiny atoms vibrating. Like, that's literally been proven. And I don't know. It's just kind of cool to think about, like, when you really, really look at things. Like, yeah.
It is cool, and I've been lately. I've been on like particles, right? Like they're finding like particles. They actually can be in two spots at one time, which is mind blowing when you think about it. And they can't really see it; they just assume it's in the area. So I get that. You're drawing your source more off of energy, more off where we are, the vibe, and you believe. Do you believe we're all connected in that same energy?
100%. My thing is, organized religion tells you you need to do this, this, and this. But it's like, what do you feel you should do? And that's what I base my beliefs on. Is I feel I should be a good person. I feel I should tell you, hey, I care about you. Are you having a good day? I feel that I should donate my time and energy and money if I can afford to. I feel I should help people. And no one on earth has told me to do that. No one has taught me how to do that. If anything, my parents taught me the opposite. They taught me to be protective and assertive and cowardice at times. And the tools that they gave me, I shied away from, and I was like, that's not who I want to be for the rest of my life. What I felt is I want to be a good person, and so that's my thing.
Okay, Jesse, and with you, same with you in regards to you do have you say you have a foundation of what you believe, right? So how does that shape and what does that look like for you? Is it energy? Is it God like a lot of Christians? Is it Jesus? Like what is your focal point that you might lean on?
oh, I thoroughly believe in God and what He does. If people don't want to believe it, they don't. I've never forced it. And that's a problem. A lot of Christians get a bad reputation is they'll force it on people, try to shove it down their throats. There's a passage that says, if they, don't hear you, dust your feet and be gone. No, don't force it. And you have those very vile and hatred-filled people that force it on people, and it's not right. It makes a bad name. So, if you don't want to hear it, that's your choice. You do that. I'll never force anyone.
And so do you and that's good. And I agree 100%. Like we shouldn't be forcing anything on anybody. And a lot of times, what we see already shows that there's a creator, right? I mean, it's almost like I say this when you look at a TV. I didn't see the guy who made the TV or the gal, didn't see who made it. I just know someone made it, right? And so that's the beauty of what we see when we look at nature, when we look at the sun, even particles, atoms. When we know somebody made it. And what I like what you're saying a lot is a lot of your, and this I might be interpreting this wrong, but it sounds like from you it's more on a love perspective, right? Like it doesn't matter what they look like, who they are, where they come from. First and foremost, we should love each other like brothers and sisters, right? We're gonna have differences, but we should love each other like brothers and sisters, right? And then for you, you're saying more about, God, you have an understanding who God is in your life, and you actually quoted some scripture based on, what your belief is in that area. So I guess I want to talk about this for a second because I'm just letting this conversation go with you guys, if that's okay. If you guys have somewhere to go, just tell, hey, we got somewhere to go. Some of my thinking is, I'm very big on a personal relationship, right? So it's my personal relationship, and when I dive into that personal relationship, I've experienced over my life that these relationships here are easier, right? These relationships are here because we're going to the source. For you, it's energy, right? And for you, it's God. But there's a source. There's a beginning. There's a source of everything that we see, And for me, it's God, and for me, it's Jesus. And what I do is I have a street ministry that I've been doing for years, feeding the homeless. And a lot of times people will, like you're saying, use that in a wrong way, right? And it's been happening since the turn of time. It's just because in the scriptures that man's heart is continually evil. That's just how it is. Our natural instinct is not to help each other, unfortunately, right? Because if we go back, we understand this is how it started. There was a rebellion. This is how it started. So now our natural instinct is not to get along, not to help you. Matter of fact, if I'm struggling or if you're struggling, let them struggle because I got one up on them, right? That's just how man's heart is. But I believe when we start to really look into the differences and find out for ourselves, like it's one thing for somebody to say, hey, I believe in Jesus, you should too. Well, you haven't given me a right? But it's another thing to say, why don't you on your own find out for yourself, because I believe we're eternal as we sit here. We're eternal beings. We're a three-part being. So eventually we're going to meet whoever made us. So my thinking is, let me find out who this is and let me see what happens based off of my interpretation and what I see based off of the truth. So I really appreciate both of your time. I hope you guys appreciate the podcast here. And yeah. So I got some cards over there. So I am so ill prepared, right? I have my bag. I said, I'm going to bring a backpack out. I'm going to go. Didn't bring the backpack out, right? But I do have some cards I want to hand out to you. And if you're in the area on August 26th, we're having an event out here. Last year we had it right in the back over there. We have live music. In the morning time we go out and so you see some of the homeless people. We go and we minister to the homeless. We give them food. We give them care bags. And so that's what we do. But I really appreciate you guys. I can't even tell you. Pleasure meeting you both. All right, and you guys have a great day. And God bless. So I find it interesting after talking to Jeff, Amber, and Jesse that their beliefs, and like most, probably 90% of the people, they come with different experiences from either when they were kids or when they were growing up or just basically, their parents. But I find it interesting that they don't delve in deeper to find out the truth, right? And so that's why it's so important that we continue to come out to the streets, continue to talk about the gospel, talk about the relationship of Jesus opposed to the religious aspects of it, right? So we are... I think there's a lot more that I want to dive in here, and it might be different cities, but I think it's good for us to be able to get a perspective on what everyday person thinks about here out on the street. So, thanks again for joining us today, More Than Conquerors.